If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. And if you read what everyone else is reading, well, you'll kind of do what everyone else is doing. Or at the very least, you'll have access to the same information. But worry not, dear viewer, in this video, I will cover 3 more of my favorite lesser-known business books. My name is Mark Fisher from businessforunicorns.com, and if you like today's video, well, maybe you'll like my book. I wrote a book, it's on Amazon. It's called Mark Fisher's Book of Fitness Business Secrets, Lessons, Stories, and True Life Shenanigans from Mark Fisher Fitness, the world's only multi-million-dollar glittery unicorn fitness cult. You can find the link in the description box below, so if you'd like to read my book, well, you'll find it there. But that's not the book we're talking about today. Today I'm talking about 3 of my personal favorite books that have been super impactful for me that I just don't hear getting recommended. Book number 1 is The Power of the Other by Dr. Henry Cloud. There is a lot to recommend about this particular book, but the overall premise is one of the rate-limiting factors of our success, our growth, our development, our achievement of our own potential is the relationships in our lives. The key to transformation requires relationships, but not just any relationship, a very particular kind of relationship. Dr. Cloud talks about a metaphor of a map, and there being 4 corners that identify where you are in regards to your relations. Corner 1 is disconnected, and this is a leader that isn't actually connecting in a meaningful way from their team, is making decisions in a silo, and unhappy things happen there. Corner 2 is when you have bad connection, when you have individuals that you seek their approval, and this could either be a leader, it could maybe even be an employee. The relationship is not supportive, and you're doing your best to be worthy and be enough for, and it is often not gonna pull out the best performance from you. Corner 3 is pseudo good connections. This is everything from brown nosers to people that you have surface level relationships with, and it's all good times, but it's not something that's truly nourishing and developmental in nature. And then corner 4 is good connection. This is the type of relationship that there is a transference of energy, it requires vulnerability, it requires being open to the energies of others, to people who are supporting your growth and transformation. But I'll say this, it's funny because reading this book, and I've talked about this before, I think on this YouTube channel, but I'm a member of something called the Entrepreneurs Organization, and that forum is such a magical place of an agendaless group of councils, of peers that are there to support me, that I can be real with and share the triumphs and the challenges, and I think that's a really powerful thing. And I would say, if you are a gym owner, shameless plug here, if you click the link below and find out more about the Unicorn Society, that is our coaching group for gym owners just like you, where we provide a similar, nourishing, safe space to get clear about really what's going on with your business. Book number 2, Simple Numbers. This is one of my favorite. I think I got this recommended maybe by my friend John Franklin from Hilo. It's actually called Simple Numbers, Straight Talk, Big Profits. And this is a book by I think he's an accountant named Greg Crabtree. And I've read this book a few times. I think it's super awesome. And I think it's a wonderful complement to Profit First. Profit First, I think, from a cash management perspective, and just an understanding the basic of finances is a book that all gym owners should read. Greg Crabtree has slightly more modest targets that he gives for profit and profit margin. And one framework he uses that I think is sort of interesting is that you want to make sure that the business gets to a place where it's 15% of pre-tax profit before you consider hiring more labor. Now, if you consider this compared to Profit First says 35%, but that includes 10% of owner paying perks. So, sorry to do so much math in a YouTube video. It's a lot of math today. So, Mike Michalowicz recommends 25% in pre-tax profit, and Greg Crabtree says 15%. I think ultimately it's all relative. It depends certainly on the size of the business, because admittedly, training gyms tend to be smaller and leaner, so the overall revenue tends to be modest in the grand scheme of things, but sometimes the margins can be pretty high. Okay, this is a lot of math. My last thing I'll tell you very quickly here is if you ever want to have a partner buy into the business, maybe you've got a general manager or a sous chef and you're not sure how to value the business or how to get them on board, this is required reading. Very important stuff in here. And finally, this book, oof, she gets pretty close. This is business philosophy here, right? So this book is called All I Want to Know Is Where I'm Going to Die, So I'll Never Go There. And I love this. I have several books by this author, Peter Bevelin, and he does this really interesting thing where in this and all his books, he pulls together quotes from Warren Buffett, and in this particular one, it's Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, and a character known as the Librarian, where he pulls in other interesting quotes from other smarty pants people. And the subtitle of this is Buffett and Munger, a study in simplicity and uncommon common sense. And whoa boy is it. Once again, there's a lot in here, but I will say this, there's 4 sections in this book, and the second section is a study of one of Charlie Munger's famous mental models of inversion, where he focuses on how to not be successful, right? So if you want to not be successful, do things like find and marry a lousy partner. Only learn from your own terrible experiences. Do not learn from other people. Blindly trust and follow the recommendations of advisors and salespeople. Again, a lot of great stuff in this book. The 4th section also is very valuable. That's a number of filters or mental models that Charlie Munger uses when thinking not only about business, but again, about life. I'll also put in a brief recommendation. If you've not checked it out, search for either Charlie Munger or The Psychology of Human Misjudgment, and you can find his, I think, really remarkable seminal speech that he sums up a lot of his philosophy of both business and life. All right, pals, I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to find more lesser known business books, go ahead, click the link in the description box below and find my first video about the 3 best biz books for gym owners that you haven't heard of. But before you go, maybe hit subscribe, maybe get my book off the Amazon if you want to hear more of my thoughts on all the things. And I'm a big reader, as you can tell. I love learning, so I'd say if you have a book you think is amazing, you think might not be on my radar, give me an email at mark@businessunicorns.com and I will give you a psycho-spiritual digital kiss back, like a thank you, like a... All right, friends, thanks as always for checking out these videos. I will see you soon, where I will share more actionable tips, psychological frameworks, and philosophy.